We're facing the biggest crisis humanity has ever encountered. Climate breakdown, ecological breakdown, Earth systems breakdown, all happening in front of our eyes. The scale and the speed of it just defies belief. It's so grave and so big.
Nearly 500 million animals are dead from Australia's raging wildfires. More than 12 million acres of land are scorched. Images alone can hardly illustrate the vast impact on the country's wildlife. To put it into perspective, there are 330 million people living in the U.S. Australia's wildfires have killed an estimated 480 million animals in New South Wales alone since September 2019. Many were killed directly by the smoke and flames.
I'm upset!
Others may have lost access to food and shelter destroyed by the fires.
I'm upset!
Up to 30% of the koalas in the region may have died, according to Australia's Environment Minister. Wildlife officials believe some species may be on the brink of extinction. Experts say the wildfires are climate change based.
If you're anything like me, then you're probably feeling overwhelmed, scared, anxious and helpless about what is happening in the world right now. It is a scary time to be alive. Climate change, ecosystem destruction, mass extinction, these are all things that are happening right now, and they affect the future of life on this planet as we know it.
The fires are also having devastating environmental consequences. Koalas usually get their water intake from eucalyptus leaves. As you can see at the moment, they're having to get a lot of help from us.
I feel so helpless.
These pictures from South Australia's Kangaroo Island. It's renowned for its wildlife. It's home to several threatened species. There are now fears some species could be wiped out.
Everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
It's just a waiting game.
What are you waiting for?
For it to stop.
The most serious criticism, though, aimed at Scott Morrison is that he's not doing enough on climate change. The context here is that Australia's been getting hotter over the last century, especially in the last 25 years. That increase in temperature has been caused by climate change, which in turn is caused by humans.
It can be really easy as an individual to feel completely overwhelmed, to feel as though there is nothing you can do to make a difference. Trust me, I've been there. But the truth is, you can. You have this amazingly powerful tool, and that is your voice, and there has never been a more important time to use it.
Ecologists at the University of Sydney are estimating 480 million animals have been killed by these fires. Koalas have been terribly affected. 8,000 are estimated to have died. To put that in context, that's around 1/3 of the koala population in New South Wales. We urge the government to do something, and if they don't create a meaningful climate policy after this epic destructive summer, they probably never will.
There's a movement here in the UK called Extinction Rebellion. It began on a grey day in London where we delivered a declaration of rebellion to Theresa May at Downing Street, and over the last year it's grown exponentially to become a global and powerful movement. Extinction Rebellion is about using your voice, taking to the streets and demanding change from our politicians.
Mr Morrison's deputy said of arguments linking these bushfires to climate change that they were the ravings of some pure, enlightened and woke capital city greenies. And he's still the Deputy Prime Minister.
That the existing political system and economic system is not fit for purpose. Business as usual, politics as usual is not going to get us out of this horrendous mess.
Maybe the kangaroos have a better chance of getting out, and a lot of them are not, but the koalas are not as fast, and there's so many of them being burnt.
Oh, God, I'm so mad I don't know what to do.
What are you guys hearing about the future of our koala population?
Well, the consideration with koalas is their instinct is to go up. Yeah. Safety's in the top of the tree. And with a hot fire, the eucalyptus trees have so much oil in their leaves that they ignite and actually explode.
Oh, God, I want to know why! Why?
So being able to treat and help koalas is few and far between because they're basically incinerated. Now I think is the time that we need to look at more than just setting aside habitat, and koalas are classed as vulnerable.
We must do something about this immediately! Immediately! Immediately!
I think after this event we need to really sit down and look at classing them as endangered.
Oh, God.
And protecting our icons, our kangaroos, our koalas. This is inspirational to Australians as well as our visitors from overseas, and it's just kind of a stab in the heart.
But for wildlife, if you're interested in donating, wildlifewarriors.org is our charity, and all of that money goes straight back into helping animals here at the hospital.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fruit bats are able to fly away from fire, but not baby fruit bats. So we've gotten nearly 700 orphaned fruit bats delivered.
Thank you. Thank you.
So these bats have really been struggling with climate change and the extreme heat temperatures we've been having. Their mothers haven't been able to feed them enough, so they've been abandoned.
He's a big, bad old putty tat, isn't he? Come on, Mama, I'll hold you.
These guys are the lucky ones. They were saved when they were just 30 days old, and we've been raising them ever since, and they will go out back into the wild to hopefully reproduce and make more babies.
Thank you. Thank you.
But someone else survived too. Who have you got?
This is Bernie.
That's an appropriate name.
Yes.
Scientific community has said that climate change is one of the great crises facing our planet. And if there is not unprecedented action to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to sustainable energy and energy efficiency, there will be irreparable damage in the United States and in virtually every country on Earth.
And how's he doing? How has
He's
Paul?
doing really well. Unfortunately, his feet have been burned, and hence he needs dressings.
What the scientists are telling us is, in fact, they have underestimated the severity and the speed in which climate change is damaging not only our country but the entire world. And if we do not act boldly, and I got to tell you, we have introduced the most comprehensive climate change proposal ever introduced by a candidate for federal office.
It's just
It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, heartbreaking, unimaginable, sorry. It's quite emotional.
Can you move back?
Doing a little koala rescue. She's a mother with a baby. And I'm cuddling. Just trying to collect as many live ones as we can.
I could have got one more person.
And I didn't. And I didn't.
You're right.
I don't know if we each have a destiny or if we're all just floating around accidental like on a breeze. But I think maybe it's both. Maybe both is happening at the same time.
Donations and messages of support have flooded in from people around the world. If you want to donate to help Australia's wildlife, the RSPCA Bushfire Appeal and the World Wildlife Fund is accepting donations. Alternatively, you can help by donating to Australia's local fire services, like the New South Wales Rural Fire Service and Queensland Fire Service.
We need system change. And what that requires, as history shows, is massive non-violent civil disobedience. We need to create the biggest movements there have ever been to confront the biggest crisis there has ever been.
In April of this year, Extinction Rebellion staged their first major action, which became the largest act of mass civil disobedience in UK history and saw thousands taken to the streets. The government listened, and a week later they declared a climate and ecological emergency.
This House must declare an environment and climate emergency. We have no time to waste. We are living in a climate crisis that will spiral dangerously out of control unless we take rapid and dramatic action now.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, we need your help because this is an issue that affects everyone. So I'd like to invite you to join us. In whatever way you can, whatever works for your circumstances, we need your voice. If you feel scared about the climate crisis, if you feel overwhelmed, then this is something you can do. The time to act is now.